Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DutchRC channel, and I've got another box for you. And as you can see, this box contains an XK A1200. Now, you might have seen other videos about this plane. There are quite a few videos on the A1200. However, they are all about the standard version. But I wanted the FPV version. It has quite a lot of nice FPV features, apart from the plane being very nice. As I said, there are other videos on this plane and it flies very, very well. It's an XK product. I always like XK products. And yeah, that's why I got this one. It took a little bit of waiting for the FPV version to show up, but it's here, as you can see. And let's see, yeah, it is a 1200mm plane, so not a small plane and not a very large plane. Brushless, of course. It has a hobby grade transmitter. It comes with a LiPo, a full FPV system. And the only thing you really need to get it up in the air is a set of double A's for the transmitter. It even comes with a charger. And yeah. Okay, so that's the box. Let's see what's in the box. Okay, let's start with the fuselage, the biggest part of the plane. Now, yeah, obviously, as you can see, the camera pod at the front over here and an FPV antenna, and visually that's all that's different on the FPV version of the A1200. In a minute I'll show you the inners, of course. But let's first zoom in and then I'll take you over the details back to front. Okay, we are now looking at the tail section of the plane without the control surfaces on it yet. As you can see here, it's a very bit small, but here is a little connector, here is a little connector, and those are for the tail surfaces like this. This is the horizontal stabilizer. And as you can see, it also has a small plug and the servo already installed. And apart from that, there are no wires to attach at all. So you simply slip the horizontal stabilizer in place like so. And the same goes for the vertical stabilizer, this one. It also has a little plug at the bottom. So you simply slot it in. And both are held together with two screws. As you can see here, over here are two screw holes, and those hold the thing together. And that's about it. Yeah, at this point I'm not completely sure how the vertical stabilizer is held in place. Screw? Ah yeah, there's a screw coming from the bottom into the vertical stabilizer. So one screw from the bottom and one screw from the top, and that's it for the tail. And then if we move a little forward, we see the motor pod, and it's a bit hard to see, but there's an air vent opening at the front over here for cooling of the motor. Propeller is already installed, a 3-blade 5-inch propeller, I think, and the plane comes with a spare for the propeller as well. I think you'd be hard pressed to damage the propeller actually, maybe in transit or in storage. In flight, hard to damage the propeller, but you get a spare, so that's very nice. Yeah, brushless motor, it's worked inside of this pod over here, so it's impossible to show you, but there is a brushless motor in there. Now, if we move a little forward again, you see another of these small plugs, and that is for the aileron servos. And let me bring in a wing as well. There we go, a wing, and yeah, those plugs are really small, so might be hard to see, but obviously the wing has a counter plug for that connector over here, and the servo is already installed for the aileron, very nice. And for the installation of the wings, you don't need any tools at all. Both wings are slotted together with this clip, so they hook into each other. Very easy to take them off for transport. Very easy. That is nice. And as you can see, there's a wing spar in the middle of the plane. That is a separate piece, but it's in so tightly that it's actually hard to get it out again. I could, but I test fitted it, and yeah, I'm not gonna take it out again. Okay, and then we come to the most important part of this plane, the front, the nose section. As I said, there's an FPV transmitter inside of this canopy section, and obviously a camera up front, 1080p full HD and 30 frames a second, and it actually records for 30 frames a second as well. Very nice. And let me take the canopy off. Actually, this is one of the best, or the best canopy hatch system I've come across. It is very secure. And let me check if I'm still in view. Hardly. Okay. The canopy is held on with a mechanical clip at the back over here. Kind of like what Multiplex uses on their planes. But it also has two magnets, one over here and one on the other side. Very, very nice. And as you can see, there are quite a lot of electronics in the canopy, and that's a difference obviously from the non-FPV version. Let me actually zoom in on this a little. Okay, up at the back over here you see a fairly common FPV transmitter, a hobby grade kind of FPV transmitter, just like the Boss cams and E-Scenes, 32 channels. It has a frequency slash band display and a little knob to change those. Very handy. A short press will change the frequency, and a longer press will get you into the band selection. So yeah, that's very common, of course. And over here you see some electronics for the FPV transmitter with a card slot over here, a micro SD card slot. And the plane actually comes with a micro SD card, and I haven't taken it out. Let's try and see what kind of card it is. It is a 4 GB memory card. So, very nice that they provide you with a memory card. And here is another look at the inners of the plane. Over here you see a flight controller, which is a 20 amp flight controller. And at the bottom over here, yeah, that might be a little hard to see, it is an integrated flight controller, so for the stabilization and the receiver. And over here you see the flight LiPo. Yes, the plane does come with a LiPo, and it is a 2000 mAh 2S LiPo. Now you might think, 2000 mAh 2S, that's not very nice. The specs say though that the plane should be able to fly 30 to 40 minutes on this small little LiPo. That is impressive. We will of course be testing that in a future video, but 40 minutes, that's actually long. You might be getting a stiff neck if you're flying line of sight. Okay, and that's it for the plane. Let's see what comes with the plane. Okay, and here is everything that comes with the A1200 laid out. And let's see, from left to right you get a bag, hello Onyx, with a spare propeller like I mentioned, 2 screws to hold on the tail surfaces and a little screwdriver. Also an Allen key, probably to secure the propeller adapter. Very nice that they provide that for you. And hello Onyx, you get a balance charger for the flight LiPo. Yeah, it will get you started. Eventually you'd want to upgrade to a hobby grade kind of charger, but again, this will get you started. It comes with an FPV screen with a built-in receiver. However, the plane's transmitter has a 32 channel transmitter, 600 milliwatt by the way, quite powerful. This monitor can only use one band, so 8 channels. Yeah, basically that's enough, but it can't use all channels that the FPV transmitter in the plane can use. It does, however, have a built-in battery, as you can tell, and it shows you the battery status, what channel and frequency you're on, and your flight time. That's actually useful info, very nice. And sunshade, foldable sunshade, nice. And a charge cable for that monitor, USB charge cable. Also a card reader, USB card reader for the memory card that is provided with the plane, very nice. And last but not least, a 7-channel transmitter, and a very nice transmitter at that. I've had quite a few of these transmitters by now from XK, very nice. I wish all hobby grade kind of RCs came with this transmitter. Very nice transmitter, good gimbals, good knobs, and the settings, changing some settings in the menu, very easy. And let's see, yeah, it has a throttle failsafe on top over here. So with that switch towards you, the throttle won't do anything. And over here you've got your dual rate knob. Down it has 100% rate and up 50, but you can change each. That's very nice. And over here you've got 2 switches for the stabilization, the amount of stabilization. I'll get more into that in my flight video. I first want to experiment a bit on that before I really tell you anything. I could tell you what the manual says, but I first want to check if that's actually true. Okay, and this red button over here is for recording FPV footage. So one press and it'll start recording. In the monitor it will show you that it has started recording, and another press and it'll stop recording. So yeah, very nice. It is a Futaba SAF-HSS compatible radio, so if you have a Futaba radio you might actually be able to fly the plane with that Futaba radio. However, there's no real need to. This radio is very nice. And that basically wraps it up. That's everything. Yeah, there's a manual, obviously, and yeah, the manual is basically just for the A1200 base version, and it has this extra leaflet for the FPV features with a frequency table and how to change your channels, how to hook everything up. Well, everything is already hooked up, so yeah, the manual suffices. It's not a complicated plane, but the manual will get you started right away. And that's it. I'll do another video in, or maybe even several videos in which I show you how the plane performs. For now, if you have any questions or suggestions about the plane, don't hesitate to comment down below. And hope to see you back in another video. Bye bye!